Hello, in Malta. We're going to discuss this lovely plan of Valletta. So you have the capital city of Malta, started off by Jean Valletta, the Grand Master, after the siege of Malta, which was on the other side at Angelo. After the Great Siege, he started this new citadel, which is bigger. And if you go to Valletta, it's sort of the same now, except now you have the Floriana and you have the suburbs which have filled up much of the surrounding countryside. So you have Fort St Elmo at the north, you have City Gate at the south, you have the Grand Master's Palace, the cathedral, you have Upper Baracca, Lower Baracca, Mandareggio, and the map shows many things and places which are still there now. The Elmo now has more around the edge, and there's a road here now, for example, which there wasn't there previously. There's a road along here now as well. So obviously it's not the same now, but the shape is very, very reminiscent, obviously. And this map dates from the 1700s. It's a really lovely old map, and there's a crease. And this once would have been in a folio or in a book of some sort. So you have an old plan, or map if you want to. It's not a map really, it's a plan. And it shows the whole island, and then it indicates the area it's honing in on there. So you have the mainland of Malta, Camino and Gozo, and you have a set of numbers and a key where it shows you what the destinations are. So the thing you've got to look for when you're buying a plan is you've got to not buy a fake one, and you've not got to buy a second edition one, because they would have taken an engraving and used it repeatedly and had the same map reproduced. And if it's a modern one, 20th century one, it's not worth a lot of money at all. But this one is genuinely an authentic 18th century plan of Valletta. And you have this lovely feature on this particular version where you have the bowing, which portrays Mount Skiberras, the hill on which Valletta's built, and you have quite detailed drawings of lookouts and gateways, and obviously the street plan. There's a lot going on in there. So it's an 18th century plan. Now the frame, because this would have been in the book, the frame was done in about 1985. It's that sort of vintage on it, and there's a couple of labels on the back which point to it being 1985-ish, might be a bit later than that, but not a lot later than that. And what they've done is they put it inside an antique style frame, and they've mounted it in this hand-cut cardboard mount, and it's a really nice job. It was a really nice job. And there is some decay on the mount, which is on the other side of the glass. It's not something that I can wipe off. Does it matter? Well, it's a couple £100 to get that changed. You could have it just cleaned. I'm going to leave it as it is, because sometimes if it looks too clean and too new, it will look like the whole thing will look like a reproduction. I'm just glad that doesn't seem to be much blemishing on the actual plan. There's a couple of spots here which are probably not the same sort of decay. There's evidence of water damage there, which has come from the side. But the thing about the plan is the colours are lovely, and it's not faded, and it hasn't decayed with worm or beetle, so there aren't holes in it. And these colours, which not necessarily painted on when it was printed, because the colours aren't printed on, they're painted on afterwards. It might have been painted on when it was framed. I think it's more likely that it was painted between the time of printing and the time of framing. So they don't look particularly fresh. They don't at all look faded. So you've got the yellows of the limestone, which is what you want. That's how it looks. You've got the highlighting on the naval battle, You've got the blues. You've got this. It's called a trophy. This heraldic area where the painting is quite detailed, and they've done the border on this key. So it's large. It's a nice frame. The condition is good. The colours are bright. And if you want a plan of Valletta, that's perhaps the best version. I think it's a very, very good thing, and I think that in a scope of collecting, you have clocks, you have bronzes, you have glass, you have rugs, you have oil paintings, you have watercolours, you have chandeliers. There is a place for a map or a plan, and I think that this one is a good example. I don't buy many of them at all. I think this one is wonderful. Thank you.